Hey everyone, I'm gonna go ahead and start our, or at least my little origami journey. I'm getting back into it a little bit since I was a youngster. So this is one that stood out for me that I can recall when I was growing up, and it just stuck with me. So hopefully it's one of those things that will stick with you as well. You might like it. Great for napkin folding at an event or anything like that. So without too much fluff, we'll go ahead and jump right into it. I have a 6 3/4 inch square sheet of paper here, and you'll notice that it has color on one side, white on the other. Um, and that's just to give the finished product a little color once we're completed here. So let's jump right into it. And you want to follow the way that this is folded, because you want to make sure that the color is going to come out on the right side with your finished figure. So first thing we'll do, we're going to turn it diagonal this way, kind of make a diamond, and we're going to fold it in half that way. And what I found is that, when you match up the corner as tightly as you can, then the rest of the fold comes out as closely to perfect as possible. Nothing is going to be perfect. I'll put that out there right now. You may see some overlap in color, but hopefully not, and we'll finish with a nice product. So once we have that crease in there, we're going to turn it and do the exact same fold, except we're going to run it right across the initial fold. Okay, so there we have our first two folds, and we folded it this way with the creases facing in for a reason. So now we're going to do another fold. It's going to be horizontal across our X here, and then another horizontal across our X here. But the difference is we're going to flip it to the right side, and we're going to fold it in half this way. And you'll see as we progress the reason why we folded it in the way that we did. So we have that crease, and we're going to do one more additional crease here. We'll fold that in half. All right, so there we have it. And we can go ahead and move that right into our next fold. So what we're going to do, we see how these are inverted. What we're going to do is we're going to make a diamond. So we're going to just follow the folds, the crease, like such, and crease it down. All right, so that was the reason that we folded it the way that we did, is to really make this fold a lot easier because it just follows the creases that we created. All right, so this is where we should be. A very important piece here. You want to make sure that your open end is at the bottom, your closed end is at the top, and then we'll move forward. So from here, what we're going to do, we do see two flaps on this side, we see two flaps on this side. We're going to kind of create an ice cream cone here, right? And by doing, what I mean by that is, we're going to take one flap here, and we're going to edge it up right along that center fold. Like such, okay? One crease there. We're going to edge it up along the center fold, and what we're going to do next is the same thing to all four flaps. So that's one flap, here is our second flap, This is what you should look like. Okay, and then we're just going to flip it over. Don't mind my little imitation X right there so that I'm in center with the camera. And then we're going to do the exact same thing on the flip side. Okay, so the idea here is to have it as mesh and lined up with that center fold line as possible. And we are going to do our fourth one here. We'll crease that down and get it as closely as possible to that center line. And remember earlier I talked about you may see some white as you're doing the folds. There's never, at least in my experience, been a perfect fold. I'm still looking forward to that day, but as of right now, it hasn't happened yet. But when you do see the white, it's a-okay. All right, so now you should have all four pieces, all four flaps folded in to mesh with the center line. So this next fold is very important, and I want to kind of show you a quick trick that I learned along the way. So whenever we're doing inverted folds, what you want to do to make the inverted fold easier, we're going to take one flap, right? And then we're going to crease it on the same crease in the other direction. Okay, and we're doing this just because it's going to make the inverted flap that much easier. So quick recap, I took one of the flaps and I just creased it along the same line in the opposite direction so that we're creasing this fold line both ways, and it's going to come in handy. Here's how. So I'll do this first one. I think that will make the remaining three a lot easier to kind of mirror and follow suit. So we folded this line. We're going to take and open up. You can see the white side there. And we're going to fold it inward, right? So what's going to happen here is we're going to fold it into the same exact crease that it is currently on. So you see what I'm doing here? I'm invert folding it. The first one's going to be the toughest one. But as you can see, I just folded that piece inward. All right, so that's our first flap. Now we can do the same thing for our three remaining flaps. So we'll take this next one, and again, to make that invert, you saw how a little bit of a challenge it gave to invert fold it, but it would have been a lot more difficult had I not increased it or not creased it twice in the opposite direction. So we're taking this fold, we're flapping it along the same crease before we invert it. Now we're going to open it up, invert it, fold it down. Easy peasy, right? All right. So now we have one side complete. We have our two remaining on the other side here. And we're going to do the exact same thing to make that inverted fold a little bit easier. We're going to recrease in the opposite direction on the same crease. And then we're going to open it and invert fold. Much easier that time, right? Okay, and then we have one additional side remaining, and we will also recrease. We'll recrease. And why do we recrease? So we can make that invert fold a lot easier. Now we have our I don't know, sort of a kite looking piece, which is really, we're almost to the end because this really represents what the wings are going to look like, what the back is going to look like. And now all we have left to create is the neck and the beak, and then the tail, and we'll be good to go. All right. So let's go ahead and start with the neck and the beak first. So again, you should have, if you're looking at the bottom, your two flaps are here, right? Either way you slice it, it's gonna be the exact same kind of setup here. So we'll take and we'll start from this end, and what we're gonna do is create the neck of the bird. So by the way that we're gonna do that is this piece we're going to pull up just like that. I'm just going to pull it up, and then whenever you are looking to crease it, you're going to crease it at whichever height that you want the neck of the bird to be, and then we'll do the beak afterwards. So there is no blueprint for it. It's whatever height that you like it to be. Maybe something similar to this, if you can see this angle. And then once you have your height that you want to leave it at, you want to just crease. All right, this is our bird's neck now. Okay, now to create the beak of the bird, we are going to do another inverted fold here. We're going to take, you see what I'm doing here? We're going to take this neck area and we're going to bend it down in the middle to create the beak of the bird. Okay, so all I did was bent it down in the middle to create the beak. Look at that progress, looking much more like a bird as we speak. So now that we have our neck and our beak, we are going to create the tail. And to create the tail, you're going to do the identical thing that you did with the neck. So the same way that we created the neck with this piece in the middle, we are going to create the tail of our crane here. Voila. We're almost there, folks. So you should have something that looks similar to this. Here's our neck and our beak. Here's our tail. Now we need to just bend the wings out because, again, remember, we want to make this thing fly. Not actually, but we want to at least be able to make the wings flap, and I'll show you how here in a minute. So the first thing we'll do is raise our first wing up here. And this is just to create a crease that will level the bird out. Hopefully you can see that. And we'll do the exact same thing to the other side. Let's flip it. Fold your wing up. And then back down. So now you should have your finished product. You look from the top, there's our wingspan. From the side, you can see a crane with our tail and our beak on both sides. And then to really completely, I guess, see what the finished product is supposed to do. So we want to see if the wings are going to flap now. And to make the wings flap, you just want to grab the chest of the bird with one hand and then the tail with the other and just pull. Look at that. So the wings should flap, giving you a flying motion. Really cool to play with, really cool to, do with your kids. It's really cool to, really make it sharp for decoration. And I've even seen it done as napkins. If you have a nice dinner set up, it makes a great conversation piece. That being said, we are finished with today's session. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and this will be the first in a series of the journey. Hopefully you'll take the ride with me. Let's go create.